As a young and beautiful nation, Australia began to stun the world through pioneering advertising campaigns which exemplify modernist principles. Through unique posters designed by Gert Schleem, Australia was recognised as a place people were in awe to visit, and were captivated by its immense culture and lovely landscapes. Schleem was able to develop a rich and unique Australian identity that is recognised in the present day. This film will focus on the Australian National Travel Association, or ANTA, which allowed Australia to be recognised as a tourist destination. It were pioneers such as Schleem who created designs in the 1930s to 1950s that embedded the inspiring political, social, and economic environment of Australia. Schleem's work has also inspired Australians advertising such as Come Live Our Philosophy, which was created on the 30th of October 2019. Both pieces of advertising bestow various similarities and differences when captivating global audiences to experience our beloved culture and nature. Gert Schleem was born on the 31st of December 1901 in Viljandi, Estonia, located in Europe. Gert fought in the Russian Civil War from 1918 to 1920 alongside his brother, and after studied architecture in Graz, Paris, Vienna, Berlin, and Munich. Shortly after, Gert arrived in Fremantle, Perth, where he began to gain qualifications and become a site architect for the University of Western Australia. He then moved to Melbourne in 1931, practicing and developed graphic design and posters which were revolutionary of his time. Schleem's dynamic treatment of colour enabled him to uphold the best trends in modern design. ANTA, or the Australian National Travel Association, was formed in 1929 in the midst of the Great Depression by Sir Charles Lloyd-Jones. Prime Minister Stanley Bruce allocated £100,000 to the association to advertise and place Australia on the map in the eyes of the countries around the world. They were responsible for most creative designs of their time, featuring images that stood out accompanied by simple slogans. Their main designers, Percy Trumpf, James Northfield, and Gert Schilheim, created designs which attracted potential tourists to Australia. James Northfield employed his designers who had a sense of modernism within their work, mostly European immigrants, as it was the way of the future, thus allowing the association to create designs which were revolutionary of their time. I will firstly discuss the Great Barrier Reef antiposter, which depicts the true tropical and distinct features of the Great Barrier Reef. Through its simple yet elegant design, Schilheim is able to promote the true beauty of the Great Barrier Reef and attract tourists to the warm tropical destination. Gert utilizes modernist techniques such as minimalism, which allows his message in advertising to become more apparent. Rather than creating a poster which has too much going on, Gert is able to showcase the interesting vegetation and fish without being too overwhelming to the viewer, and being a successful poster. It is trying to sell the rich and diverse nature of the Great Barrier Reef and exemplifying its true beauty. Through this, it is able to show a well-known part of Australia in a simplistic and interesting manner, thus attracting tourists around the world. I will be discussing is the iconic Surf Club poster created by ANTA. This poster was designed by Gert Schilheim in an attempt to portray the true Australian identity, which includes beautiful weather, surf, beach, as well as happy people. This was able to express to tourists around the world that what Australia was really about. The way in which people were happy and free, and the way the weather was beautiful, allowed them to become more in awe to visit our country. Before this poster, Australia was known for large deserts and bush, but in this poster, it showcases the beaches, thus persuading people to come visit our country. Throughout Kurt Schleem's work, he employs modernist principles such as simplistic designs. Schleem created posters which had bold, striking colours and shapes with little texture and variation. He discovers certain warm, eye-catching colours such as orange, yellow, and light blue, as they seem to be positive colours to the viewer. Throughout modernism, the pioneering designer utilised strong colours such as the ones displayed in this photograph. These colours, such as gold, tomato, and blue, can be seen in his posters. This is a key modernist principle employed by Schlemm to make his advertising stand out and truly revolutionary of its time. Additionally, his use of simplistic shapes and textures throughout his posters imitates minimalism approach as a way to improve tourism industry. This is because the shapes are easy to comprehend due to its popularity of minimalism at the time, almost resonated with the viewer and thus persuading them to visit our country. Within the 1920s and 1930s, Australia suffered from the Great Depression, where the Australian economy collapsed and unemployment reached a peak of 32% in 1932. Due to this, Australia required more tourists to visit our beautiful country in order to boost our economy during this time. This caused ANTA to create more advertising posters and come out of the Great Depression with an increase of visitors. Through technological advancements, people were able to visit Australia via plane and boat, allowing more tourists to visit our country, which also increased the amount of visitors, and thus leading to one of the biggest tourist destinations around the world. At the time, the identity of Australia was quite mixed and unknown to the rest of the world. This is because it had a mix of Indigenous and white Australians, which were diverse. This affected Schlemm's posters as he had a diverse number of posters featuring Aboriginal cultures as well as the white beach of Australia, thus affecting this graphic design work significantly. As you can see, there is a distinct difference about these two posters, yet were advertised at the exact same time in the same social and economic climate. As Australia has grown, the push to become a hotspot tourist destination has also grown in popularity. Through this, Australia is advertised on a global scale to appeal to people on Tourist Australia, creating advertising campaigns such as Come Live Our Philosophy, which highlights the laid-back and friendly norm of Australian people. The campaign is designed to cause tourists to love our people and culture, which make this great nation, rather than the landscapes. This is inspired by Gert Schlemm, as within his advertising, people and culture is highlighted, not landscapes. He focuses on the lovely culture and diverse society. By doing so, it causes people to want to experience our laid-back culture for themselves. Also, Gert focuses on using warm colours, which makes people want to come visit our nation. And this is also depicted in Come Live Our Philosophy, where in this photograph you see a person who is happy and going down a light orange dune, which is also seen as positive to the viewer. In essence, ANTA was a successful advertising firm which was revolutionary of its time. Through Gert Schlemm and other designers, they were able to create work which adopted modernism principles of design in order to create unique and eye-catching work, allowing tourists to recognise and travel to Australia. Because of this, many 21st century advertising campaigns such as Come Live Our Philosophy are inspired by the ways in which ANTA showcased our Australian identity and warm colours for their advertising campaigns. Thank you for listening.